We are back. We are back. Man, today is day 26. Day 26 of Miracle March, and we are back with another amazing guest. And if this is your first time joining us, Miracle March is just an intentional month of transforming minds by influencing, motivating, and coaching aspiring entrepreneurs while empowering them with tools to succeed. And over the last 26 days, we've been able to empower so many minds and give them tangible tools to go implement in their business and have them change their business, change their lives, be better wives, husbands. Like, it's just been so amazing to be able to get to speak to all of these new entrepreneurs. And one of the reasons why I started this was because last year I just felt like I wanted to give back. And so I pushed myself in giving back in this month of March. And today we have a super special guest. Today we have a special guest by the name of Roy. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing great, Keston. You know, your Miracle March, because your birthday is in March and so is mine.
Oh, really?
So that worked out pretty good. And it just, the best people are born in March, right?
The best. Absolutely only the best, man. You're right.
Yeah, only the best. Well, we got to say that because we're both born in March.
So, dude, tell us a little bit about who you are and how you ended up on Miracle March on to the 26th.
Yeah, that's quite a journey getting here. Being a little bit older, probably twice your age or better. I've gone through a lot of different stuff. I've looked at, multifamily before, and, I had a rental house for a while one time, and, that was the biggest pain. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. And, many years ago, I looked at multifamily and I thought it was pretty good. And then, I worked for many years and come here a couple of years ago, the week after I turned, well, we won't say, but 60, what was it? 66, old enough to retire.
Nice.
This year I turned 68, and a couple of years ago I was laid off about a week after I turned, my birthday, and I started looking at different things. I wanted to get some, something I could do where I didn't have to go into work every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired, so I have retirement coming in, so it's not like I don't have anything coming in.
Sure.
But I just wanted to get something better, something to do, and I tried affiliate marketing before, and I come across this information, to do some affiliate marketing, and learned a lot. And I went through a lot of training on that. And it seems like you got to keep running all these ads, and then, dealing with Facebook, and then your ads don't work, they work and then they don't work. And it just seemed like it's a lot of work. And then I went down to Grant's Real Estate Summit here last summer, and learned a little bit about what real estate investing is all about. I'm learning stuff on there, and I started putting a spreadsheet together to figure out what can we do to evaluate these properties. And then somebody invited me to the fun night on Wednesdays. That was you, of course.
Yeah.
And I started attending that, and then I went through some of your training that you and Carlos are doing, and I was like, okay, I've kind of pretty much stopped everything except underwriting deals. So that's what I'm doing. I do have a podcast, Arch Talk 101 podcast that I do.
Nice.
I put 2 of them out a week, and I'm still doing that. So my focus is doing my podcast because it's fun talking to archers all over the world, because I've talked to, archers in South Africa, Serbia, and other countries. And my group that I have, which is Arch Talk 101 Facebook group, there's people all over the world in there, even people from countries I have to look up on Google Maps to figure out where it's at. So it's a worldwide sport, and it's fun talking to all these archers, but it doesn't make me a lot of money. And I can help them out, but I want to help more people out. And I wanted to get into doing some more multifamily deals, and I just wanted to get connected, with somebody that, is going to do some teaching on there and help me out with that. And you and Carlos have provided lots and lots of information, um, deals on how to do stuff. It's just amazing. And then I've gotten connected up through the people in your group. I've
Mm-hmm.
got connected with a couple different groups that are underwriting deals. And,
Yeah.
one group has, their little buy boxes, the low ones, in the sun belts. And then the other one is a bit more around here. And then you guys like the multi-use ones. And I seem to kind of gravitate to, the multi-use ones, because that just seems like it's a so much better deal, that
Yeah.
trying to get that deal in there and go with it, I need to look at some of the other ones, because I got a different program that I'm using in my spreadsheet. And of course I can modify it, because all the normal spreadsheets deals with just multifamily and just regular loans. You don't have assumed loans. And so I'm trying to go through all that and figure all that stuff out, so that, when I underwrite it, it's actually a viable solution.
Sure.
And that's kind of where I'm struggling. It's like, okay, is this really a good deal? And, you work the numbers, and you work them again. And then it's like, okay, let me just start all over, do something different. And, how can we make this deal work? And sometimes it's just kind of where we get, uh, I kind of get overwhelmed, almost lost. It's like, okay, I'm trying to do more than what this program, the spreadsheet's intended to do.
Right.
And okay, what do I do next? Where do I go from there? And um, I backed off everything I was doing, besides mostly just focusing on multifamily. And I might need to take and focus on just what this one group wants, just so that I can get information there. And that's kind of where I'm struggling. Where do I focus my attention? And
Mm-hmm.
you know, you've
No,
always got
that's
some
a
good insights. Where is the best place for me to focus my attention?
well, man, that's some history, and you are like so blessed, because I would have never thought that your body was that age, right? And so God bless you, man, with where you are, and still kicking, right? Still after it, still moving. You have a podcast, and so, man, it's pretty amazing, your journey as to where you are today. And now when it comes to multifamily, are you on a team so that you don't have to do everything yourself?
Yeah, I've got a team that I got invited to, uh, that will take and go through everything. They're dealing mostly in just Sunbelt. And I originally started looking at properties, because I'm in Nebraska. I wanted to be able to go drive to the property, walk it, and come back. So I started focusing on South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas. But this one group, they don't deal with anything in that. They're in your, what is it, your North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, that group. And I wanted to be able to go walk it, because I wanted to be able to just do the underwriting and then go look at the property and then present it to them, let them go from there. But now
Yeah.
where that group wants to go somewhere else. But I do have one guy. I'm not real sure on exactly what he needs, what they're looking for. I presented a couple deals to him, but their place is, matter of probably 20 miles, 30 miles from me. So they're nice and close, and they'll deal more with the local stuff here. But I haven't figured out exactly what their buy box is. I
Mm-hmm.
know they've got a fairly high limit, about 50 million investment they can go up to. But I'm just, it's kind of one of those things that, like, I used to go about 50 different ways, and it's like it's not working. I can't do everything, so I wanted to kind of narrow it down. And
Yeah. No, and I think narrowing it down is great, and which is why I'm asking you about the team, because your team would allow me to know exactly what you should be working on. Now, you have two different teams basically that you have the ability to work with. One that's closer to your local market, the other one is a little bit more broad, or away from you. Now, which one are you going to commit to?
That's I'm thinking probably right now, because the help I've been getting from them, they have a whole team. Probably the one that deals in the Sun Belt, which it's going to be one of those that I'm going to have to go through and look at the property, to underwrite it and make it a good deal. They give me a different spreadsheet to use, so I'm kind of want to use their spreadsheet for doing their bids as well. So I'm kind of thinking that might be where I need to focus mostly on those areas, because they're more familiar with those areas. When I get in these other areas, they're not familiar with them. I find some deals in Des Moines that seems like a really good deal, and it's multi-use, and they're not something that either one of these deal with. They don't deal with multi-use. The one group doesn't do anything with multi-use in 1980 and newer, and the other one is interested in it but hasn't done any. So I like doing the multi-use deals, because I just after what you and Carlos are doing, it's like it's the opportunity is just so massive there. And so I'm kind of look, I seem to gravitate towards the multi-use ones, which Carlos would be interested in, and you. But it's a little harder to get deals in front of you, because you've got so many people out there, looking for deals.
Yeah, and so here's what I would say, man. I would say stick with the team that could get you to get a deal closed the fastest. So there's multiple layers to it. Like, would you get to your goal working with this team? So like, if it was the Sunbelt states and you couldn't go to the deal, do you have someone on the team that would be able to go to the deal until you were able to fly there after you guys got it on the contract, or like you were pursuing it for sure, but you already had somebody go walk the deal? If somebody on the team could do that, then I think that would be a good start. Now, the question is, do you trust that person enough to go walk the deal and to say, man, this is an amazing deal. Let's pursue it. Let's put it on the contract. Let's lock it up.
Yeah, I think there's there's several on the team that could go walk the property and provide good value to the group. So I kind of want to start my area, because I know my area a little bit better.
Sure.
This group focuses somewhere else, but if I find a good deal in one of those states they're interested in, then I can trust that. Well, as much as you can trust anybody, but I can trust that they would go look at the deal and present it to the people that run, that own the group.
Yeah. So I would say, because you do want to narrow down your focus, and like the group that is willing to buy properties within your markets. Tell me a little bit more about them.
The one guy that runs it, I managed to connect to him through, I think it was one of your boot camps that you and Carlos had.
Okay.
And I haven't physically met him yet, but I've talked to him several times on the phone, and we got on a Zoom call, and I went over one of the deals I had. Mm-hmm. He liked the deal, but just didn't like the cash on cash return. It was a little bit on the light side.
Yeah.
So I haven't really dealt with them that much. I've dealt with the other one, because they have they get together every morning, to look at deals, and every Saturday morning they get together. Not this Saturday, because they're down at Grant's thing, but so they're providing a lot of opportunity to learn, and I can get on the schedule and present deals to them real easy, and then they can look at it. But I need to look at just the states that they're interested in. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of thinking, after talking to you, I'm thinking now I might want to just focus on those few states and get a deal, because I wanted to have my goal was to try. I wanted to get a deal in March, by the end of March. Well, I'm
Right.
not there yet, and I think it's because I'm probably not getting focused on one, and sometimes that's. I think when I get too much things going different ways,
Yeah.
then I don't get focused on one, and then it's like you don't get none of them done. And I'm thinking I need to just focus on that one group, find the states, have all my stuff come in, all my emails come in just on those states, maybe back the other ones off and just focus on those states only.
Yeah. Bro, we're all like that. We are all like that. Like if with the more broad we think and we like our focus is, the less we get done. The more narrow, the much better, and the more we could do, simply because our focus is so locked in. And so I agree with you. I definitely think that locking in on the area that you actually enjoy, you feel like you're going to show up, plus in building relationships with brokers, you'd be able to relate to a lot of things, right? You'd be able to talk the talk because you don't live too far. And so if you needed to go network with some of these people, you may have a hand up there. So I definitely agree. And it sounds like this person that you met has opened the door so that you could be a part of what they're doing and you could continue to grow and learn. So I agree with you. Sticking to that area is it's a good thing, and it's gonna help you expedite the people that you meet, the deals that you see, and possibly lock something in a lot faster.
Yeah, it's well, being an engineer by training and working as an engineer for many years, you always have to look at this, but you got to also consider this. You're constantly going wide because you can't focus on one thing. It's
Sure.
everything affects the whole system.
Yeah.
Or dealing with electronics. Everything affects everything, and you have to look at everything. And I think that's one of the things that's keeping me from, narrowing down. I'm so used to looking at all the different aspects. If you're building a system, you got to worry about this input, and this output, and you have to worry about all these things. And over the many years, probably 40 plus years ago, I got my engineering degree. So
Yeah.
it just kind of ingrained in me, looking at all the different things, and that's where I think where I'm struggling is I need to get focused down to, um, either working with the Sunbelt groups, that groups or the local group. And I probably need to, find out more. What is his buy box? The one that lives right here by me. What is it you're looking for so I can look at stuff? I did look. I had one property. I talked to him, and he says, "Yeah, it's not out. We considered, but when I started looking more detail, it's like, okay, 4 units are down because of fire,
Oh
and
man.
he still wants, pretty much top dollar for it." And it's like, I don't think so. I'd have to walk it just to see because it's I go past it quite a bit. Every time I go to the VA, I go past that property. So
Hmm.
I know the area very well,
Yeah.
and that's something they've already started looking at briefly. How much do I want to spend looking at something that they've already looked at? But maybe I can go in and say, okay, here's why you want to consider. Here's why you don't. Maybe I go through and do that for somebody here locally because I need to go do something. Um,
Listen,
yeah,
it always helps to build the reps on these things. Always helps. Always helps to for you to be able to because when you walk a property and you actually see it, it builds your confidence. That's for sure. It builds your
right,
confidence. You could definitely use it as material, right? You could use it as material for your social media, things like that. And also it helps the broker to see that you're real, right? And
right,
so when you walk the property and the broker sees you and see that you're actually pursuing it, they may remember you for the next deal more on purpose. They'll be like, oh, let me call Roy. Roy did look at this property. There were reasons why he didn't like this one. But being that he's actively looking, let me send Roy a property so that he could be a first bidder on it. So I think there's a lot that goes into looking at these properties that we may not quantify as something like as a reason to go, but there's a lot of different reasons that you should go, even though it may not be the ideal deal. It's you're helping yourself push past the barriers of thinking and just actually doing. So it absolutely helps.
Yeah, I had one broker I was talking to him about something that wasn't interesting. He says, "Hey, I've got one that we're just doing internally. It's not listed." So he gave me the information on it. So I go
Mhm.
look at it, and the numbers when I run didn't seem like they panned out. But I need to give him a call back here, um, and talk to him a bit more. It's like, okay, how did you underwrite it to make it worth this? Because my numbers aren't showing that, and some of them gone through and say, well, this is how we underwrote it, and then I can learn, okay, what are they doing? And of course, they're going to give it a rosy picture, or I'm going to give it,
Yeah,
not as rosy of a picture because I don't want
yeah,
to get a deal that, it's not worthwhile.
exactly. Yeah, man. So is this something you're gonna commit to?
Yeah, I think I want to go through and take a look at both those groups and see which one's really starting to pan out, because I can find stuff locally because I get stuff coming in all the time, that I can just drive to them in a few minutes or few hours and go see them.
Uh-huh.
And I know I walked a property in Des Moines that was really good. Uh, After I walked it, there's so many advantages to it, but I don't think the numbers quite panned out. Like the owner wanted.
No, just again, it's momentum, right? Like action. As the more action you take, the more you're gonna build that traction, and then the law of attraction comes back to you because you're in motion. That's kind of how it works. Like your vibration, you being out there, doing things, taking the action, and then all of a sudden, at some point, that broker, one of the brokers are gonna be like, "Oh man, this dude Roy, he keeps looking at my properties, he keeps coming." And you build a relationship. Maybe one of them may like archery. You never know, right? And
Yeah,
then they're like, "Hey, let me now that we're like the best buds, here's a property that's a pocket listing that I think would be a great fit for you." You just never know when it comes to these things.
yeah, you don't. I've just I started out, like a good example is my podcast. I started out, once a week, and then just providing some value. And then I started doing the interviews, and I had to go to twice a week because sometimes I record two in a day.
Yeah.
And so I had to go to twice a week because I was just getting so many of them. I didn't really want to take and have something come out that is not even going to show up for another month, you know. And that's why I started going live in the group, because now then they can get it right away. And
Hmm.
I needed to kind of take that same thing and take it into looking at properties, and until I can finally get that one that pumps in. And I was looking more at the bigger ones just because your little piece of a big pie is life changing. A little
Absolutely.
piece of a little pie, yeah, okay, it'll allow me to go skating once a week.
Yeah.
I want to do something more than just supply a few dollars in there. And that's why I didn't really look at the smaller deals.
Oh,
Like I
I
say, a
totally
million in
agree.
upside, but I may have to start with something a little smaller and just get something coming in. And
Yeah. I totally agree, dude. Grabbing onto something that's way bigger, and getting us a little piece of that big pie is definitely more profitable, I believe. Something that would allow you to get to your goals much faster. And this is where like the mindset piece comes in, right? Because even when I think about these types of big versus small and all this type of stuff, like think about it. the same amount of stress, the same amount of pressure, the learning curve to learn how to underwrite, to learn how to assess a deal, to close the deal, like all of that stuff, it's the same as analyzing a 100-unit deal. Like
Yeah,
your learning curve from what you knew to what you're learning and analyzing this deal, it's this exactly the same. So why not just learn the bigger one now, go through the process of learning it so that your win is a lot bigger versus saying, oh, I'm gonna just start small. You still got to go through the learning curve. The learning curve does
right.
not change, but the outcome and the result definitely changes.
Yeah, I know. I looked at one property down in Tulsa, 682 units, and it looks good. It's a good location, everything, and it's like, but the one group doesn't want to go into Oklahoma, and the other one, I think it might be too big of a deal for them. So it's like I'm stuck. I found what I think is a good deal, but yet, how do I get it in front of somebody that can handle it?
Well, did you reach out to people who are buying actively in that area?
That I have not looked at those that are buying in Tulsa because I'm not sure who's buying in Tulsa.
Well, now your tech analytical skills got to come in. How do you find people that's buying in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and see who the buyers are there? Because they're definitely key players in that area.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's absolutely key players in that area, and in other areas that would be open to buying. Have you posted it in any groups? And when I say it, have you posted an opportunity, not necessarily the exact deal, in any groups to see if somebody's like bites at it?
Um, I don't think I have posted the information like that. I need to probably put in, basically the number of units and what else? What number of units? The average rent. Maybe what's the upside? Give a little bitty information on, what the property can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody may want to buy that, man.
Yeah, I'll have to start getting some more stuff put down and figuring out, which groups to put it in and start posting them out there because I've got a couple of WhatsApp groups that I can post in.
Yep.
And see if I can get some information going on that.
100%. 100%, dude. So that would be your homework, man. Because if you got a deal that is a good deal, now you just need eyeballs. You need buyers. So, or a team that you could work with to be able to take this deal down. So other than narrowing your focus to the I think you said your backyard is where you're gonna
Right.
focus. I want you to either get the experience of looking for a buyer as well for this deal, because I think that's gonna help you broaden your network of people, but it's also gonna teach you how to find buyers, how to find things, because now it pushes you beyond what you already know, which is what I like. You gotta get beyond your zone of comfort to be able to get this deal going, and that's important.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm not really that good at yet. That I've got to figure out, how to get information out there. What information, is going to be most enticing into them, and probably it's like, okay, what is the upside in here?
There you go. Once somebody sees the upside, they're sold, right? It's like, oh,
Right.
here goes something I should pay attention to.
And then there's sites out there you can go and look and see, okay, what is this city doing? Is it increasing, decreasing? What's the
Yeah.
population? What's the unemployment rate? All that information, and I pull that up and look at that when I'm doing fill that information in. So I have the information. And, a lot of them, some of them are really good assumable loans, 3 and 4%.
Mm,
And,
awesome.
you know, that's the part I'm still not real good at figuring out how to incorporate that into a bid.
Yeah.
I've been modifying the sheet a little bit so I can kind of figure that out and get the good numbers in there. And I just need to get out there and get the information, make sure it is a really good deal, and what's the upside on it. Like
No,
Carlos says,
I
you want a
think
million
I
dollar
think
upside.
you I think you already know it's a really good deal. I think you already know that. Now, what you need to do is to take the next step. Don't go back over analyzing, because what I hear is you over analyzing now, because the next step seems a little scary. So now it's like, well, let me just go back and make sure. And nope, it's a good deal. Take the next step that's going to be out of your comfort zone, so that. And what's the worst that could happen, Roy?
Everybody ignores my post.
They ignore your post, or they're like, oh, this is not a good deal. Here is why.
Yeah, and then I'll learn what is it they're looking for. Like the one I presented to one guy is well, we're looking for a little better, higher cash on cash, and like, okay, so now I know they want more than that. Then what else is going
There
on.
you go.
So yeah, I think today is going to be one of those days where I'm going to go look at that deal, get all the numbers, and then start posting information about, okay, here's the deal, here's what I see as upside, and if they're interested, then they'll contact me, and then we can start, get on a Zoom call and say, hey, here's my numbers. I'll share my spreadsheet and look through it and see what the deal is.
There you go, buddy. There you go. I feel like you have a good takeaway and something to do from today. You got a few. Some may be a little bit more uncomfortable than some, but I think taking those next steps will get you further than where you are today. And I think that will be pretty awesome for you, man.
Yeah, the part that I wasn't doing very well is going out and say, okay, I have a deal. I think this is a good deal. All my numbers say it's a good deal, but then I'm limiting who I present it to. I presented one to the one group, but they didn't want nothing to do with it. They couldn't handle it, and
Yeah.
then they kind of somewhat almost pushed another group, but it's like, okay, now I lost control. Who's looking at this? So, well, okay, let's put this out somewhere else. And
You got this, brother.
so,
Go get
yeah,
it out there. Get past that fear of what somebody may say, and jump right in. Jump
yeah,
right in, because you're only gonna learn from doing these things. That's the key. That's the key. You're gonna learn from being able to do it. And the blockers that you have right now will not be a blockers tomorrow, once you are able to get past and start doing that. So any final questions as we wrap up today, Roy?
um, it's. I'm sure I have one as soon as we get done, but I know how to get a hold of you. So if it's a good
You
enough
do.
question, I'll just send it to you. So yeah, I've really got a little bit better direction. What I'm doing is just analyzing them and not really getting them out. I say it's a good deal, but then I limit who I'm selling it to. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, I kind of didn't want to. Okay, here's the deal. Send it this group, send it this group, send a whole bunch, send it out to a whole bunch of different people. It's like, okay, to them. Oh no, they don't want it. Well, okay, no, they don't want it. Well, now offers are due.
Yeah.
So I was kind of limiting. What do you think on, if I find a good deal, presenting it to multiple groups and see if one of them takes it?
Such a good question. I think it's finding out about their history, right? Because if a group says, yes, this 600 unit deal is awesome, let's, like, we want to pursue it, but it's their first deal, more than likely they're not going to execute on that deal, right? More than likely. But if this group has 1,000 units in their portfolio, maybe they may take that on, right? So I think it would be a matter of assessing the group before sending them the deal, just to understand where they are, kind of what their ability to close on this deal really is before sending it to them.
Yeah, I the one group that I talk to sometimes, I think that 680 some deal group is probably double, if not more, larger than any one they've done. So that might be a little bit out of their range, looking
Sure.
at that number of them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure in the other group because I probably need to get a hold of the guy that's here locally and find out, okay, what is your buy box, so I know what is he looking for exactly, so I know if I have a deal I can send it to them,
Yeah.
and then I know what to send the other ones to, and then no, okay, if they like this deal, then I don't need to send it anywhere else. If not, then I need to get on the different sites and say, okay, here I have a deal, this number of units. Here's the, what I see is the um, cash on cash and the IR and all that other information. It's like, and here's where I see is an upside,
Yeah. I totally
and
agree.
post that. That kind of gives me an idea of what I need to put out in them. So when I do go in different sites, I can do that.
Yeah.
Um, right now, I have a business website that I own. Normally, that's my background. You'll see on the other stuff. The Time is Everything LLC background I use, which is basically my
Nice.
business card.
Yeah.
Um, but I haven't really tailored it to multifamily investing. It's just mostly just right now. There's no real specific theme
Sure.
to it. Um, I'm, I'm thinking probably I should probably tailor that more towards um, multifamily investing, maybe changing around a little bit.
Yeah. Anything that, and you're talking about the website,
Yeah,
anything that could add to your credibility. Because when you start talking to sellers, brokers, they're gonna Google you, man. They're gonna look you
right.
up. They're gonna want to see if you're real. So I think it would definitely add to your credibility if they could pull you up and see something, see, even some of the hit things you've done in the past or whatever. Um, so yeah,
I have to start looking at that. Maybe I'll decide exactly what I want it to look like and uh, pay somebody on Fiverr to go do it.
exactly. Don't start doing busy work right now. Go do the next steps. Commit to doing the next steps and then do this when you have some free time. Don't start with busy work.
Yeah, it's like right now it's probably not as important, but I was just wondering because I know uh, my Facebook profile page and group all have the same, they're all same archery theme all the way through there, and it's kind of nice to have. Then I have a page in another group, retired style group, and that is a common theme. So I
Yeah.
just need to get the business theme going in to where it's the same look when you look at my business card, and it has the same look and feel as when you go to the website.
Yep.
One of
Absolutely.
those things to do after I get a deal done.
Exactly. All
Just
right,
something
Roy.
in the background because it can take time to go through and figure out exactly what you want to do with the website. And right now,
Yep.
I just don't want to spend the time doing that.
Exactly. That's keeping focus on the next steps. Just keep focus on the next steps and you'll get to that place. So I agree. You definitely do have next things to do. Don't get caught up in the busy work. That's just gonna help you procrastinate. That's what that busy work is there for. right?
Yeah.
So man, Roy, thank you for being here today. Thank you for trusting me to be able to give you next steps and directions. Truly, truly appreciate it. Any final words?
Um, no, I guess just if you're thinking about multifamily, and connect in with you and Carlos, because I've learned so much from you guys. You know, Grant teaches a lot, but I've learned much more from you guys. So that's all I can say is just, keep connected with you guys, because there's so much I'm learning from just hanging around with you guys, on the different things that you guys are doing.
Man, appreciate that so much. Thank you, Roy. This has been another amazing session. Guys, I hope you see that it doesn't matter your age, your race, or anything like that. When it is that you have a goal and going towards that goal, you will still be distracted. You will still get pulled away from your target to do things that doesn't really matter. And so having someone to help you and guide you towards those goals so that you can have the ideal life you're looking for is super important. And so, if it is that you need a coach, if you need someone to help you, got to guide you to that place, please hit me up. I'm starting my Purpose Ways group coaching program starting on April 6th. Go to purposeways.com to be able to sign up and register. This is where you're going to learn all the techniques, the tricks, the everything that I've done to be able to get to this point and place in my life, which is to be financially in a great place. I'm going to be teaching that to you guys in this Purpose Ways group coaching program. So go to purposeways.com, and that's WAZE, purposewaze.com, and register. If not, just send me a message if you want to know more. We're doing a Zoom call explaining a lot more this Wednesday. So if you want to know more about what's entailed in this lifetime, it's a lifetime group coaching program, please reach out to me on my Instagram at Kess on Purpose. Send me a message right here, and I'll be more than happy to give you more information and details on that. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for make sure you like and subscribe to the page. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.